So Kevin, you're back in the lightweight division, but you said earlier about, you were planning on staying at welterweight. What was it that made you change your mind and come back down?
It was inevitable that I was going to move back down. The one-off at welterweight, I took on the number 3 guy in the world, but it didn't feel like home. And this timing and everything just worked out perfect, and it felt like the right move to make.
And then the stare down was a little bit weird. Like, he refused to make eye contact. He was, like, turning in the opposite direction of you. And what did you make of all that?
Yeah, I think he's been very confident in this training camp, and he's undefeated. So he's going to carry that confidence with him. But when he looked me in my eyes, he's going to know I don't give a fuck about none of that. And I think he didn't want to face that at first. And, he tried to give me a little bit back at the end. That's what made it fun for me. It's like, okay, maybe this man is game. So it's going to be a fun fight.
Do you think just because of his name value, people are underestimating his abilities as a fighter, right? He's not exactly well known by the masses like you are. Do you think that people are they're not giving him a fair shake?
Yeah, maybe, but not for me, and it's his fighting style too. Even if you beat him, you're not gonna look good doing it. The man's very tenacious. He keeps coming, and he's a national champion and wrestler. He's one of the most decorated wrestlers in all the UFC. So it's a very, very dangerous fight. But these are the kind of occasions that I kind of rise for.
How does this fight week compare? Because you're normally the focus of a card, and now you're on the stack card, and even though again you have like a decent opponent, you're not the focus. How's that compared?
It's awesome. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. It's kind of cool not having to put myself out there too much.
Yeah.
It's all about being the fight, and for me, it's been about the training camp too. It's about putting myself in the right mindset and getting everything dialed in perfect. I feel like I've done that. I've made tries for it. Working up at Tristar with Firas Zahabi, he's been the man to kind of guide me, and I feel like that's what's going to shine through on Saturday.
What was your reaction when you heard that Donald Trump was going to be at the fights on Saturday?
At first I was like, I was a little taken back. I was like, okay, all right,
yeah.
Show up for the pay-per-view, baby. Like, let's see what it is. It's Bernie Sanders for me, 2020. I ain't even gonna lie to you,
yeah.
But I'm gonna walk out to a Kanye song. So,
do you have much family coming up for this fight? Because Michigan's not too far away from you.
Yeah, I don't really pay too much attention to it. The people who are gonna be here is gonna be here. Most of the crowd is gonna be for Gregor. I know that. I'm fighting a man in New York. He's from New York, but I don't give a fuck who there. It's me and him in a ring. He gonna have to look me in my eyes. I'm gonna keep my eyes on him, and we get into a fight.
How much genuine training have you done with GSP ahead of this fight?
A lot. He's been a big part of the camp, even if he only says one or two things. But when a guy like that he's got the eyes and he can see so much that I really listen to everything, even the little bits and tricks. We talked a lot about this for sure.
I'm sure when you moved up there, part of the idea was to train with a guy who has that sort of knowledge, but are you almost taken aback by how much that guy knows? He's so cerebral and stuff.
Yeah, in the camp, all in general, Firas is right up there too. It did kind of surprise me how cerebral they approach the game and how technical it is. But I feel like it's kind of been a perfect little match for my style. And, I can't see the future. I can't see how the fight is going to go on Saturday, but I feel like I'm a much better fighter since moving up there, and it's going to be a big part of my career. I'm kind of already balls to the wall. I'm kind of already use my athleticism and go forward, and now I'm going to have that technique to really drive it in.
Kevin, is the right move to do, to go up there, leave Vegas behind a little bit?
For sure.
Kevin, just two from me. First, you talked about sort of building this kinship with Firas, something that you had been missing from a head coach since the passing of Rob Follis. How important is it to you and to most fighters to have a head coach that they really, click with?
Yeah, I think it's a big thing, and it's something that I've kind of really had to come to grips with. I kind of knew it before the RDA fight, to be honest, but I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna push harder and go harder, and then I'll make those adjustments. And that fight was a slap in the face to say, no, you need to make those adjustments now. Michael Jordan has a head coach. Floyd Mayweather has a head coach. Everybody needs that person. You can't just rely on yourself, and I feel like that's what I've been doing these last two fights, and those are the adjustments I'm trying to make.
You went a little viral over a video you posted to your Instagram. You're playing your Nintendo Switch and the Tesla. What was your mom's reaction to all that?
Yeah, social media is fun. It's kind of easy, to be honest with you. Like, I don't play too much into the game, but my mom, she wasn't happy about it, of course, but I did it every day. Sometimes I FaceTime her while I'm doing it, and I gotta.
I notice fans give you a hard time for when you describe your opponents. You say, "I see holes in their game." Do you notice that they give you a hard time about that?
I didn't, but now I do, I guess.
Yeah.
I ain't been.
Switching up the lingo, maybe when you're describing an opponent, or not?
I mean, I feel like I only said that like one or two. People gonna say what they gonna say.
I know.
I let them say what they gonna say. I let them kind of play in the playground, and I'm in the office doing work. So yeah, I'm picking.
Previously, you sort of broke down Khabib versus Tony Ferguson because it was a fight that just got booked over and over again. We've seen a little bit more of them since then. Previously, you favored Ferguson. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, before that Dustin Poirier fight, I was all in on Tony being able to beat him. But since it's like, man, that really tightened up the fight a lot to me. Just the way that Tony or Khabib approached that fight and the way he handled it was really cool, really calm. So it's gonna make it a tough fight, and I'm leaning more towards Khabib now. But it's still going to be a hell of a fight, for sure.
I'm just curious what your thoughts are on the BMF title as, a concept, the idea of it.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the floodgates. Now we see that this is a possibility, and it means that anything can really happen. I think eventually you might get to the point where there's different divisions inside the UFC's divisions. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be am I against it? And to be honest, no, not really. I mean, as long as it don't get too crazy, like boxing or something, as long as we have a direct path and things that we can shoot for, then I'm all for it. Like, let's do it.
If you could create any title yourself, what would it be?
It probably wouldn't be BMF. Like, I don't know.